nor the entity which won these 6 could bid, because this process has been opened out and an entirely new entity came in. So I'm making the limited point that we are progressing from limited number of players, expanding, gaining by that experience, and then opening it out to global entities, which is what the experience of Jewar was. Now we come to the issue of privatization of one particular airport, which is generating a lot of excitement and heat, and perhaps not as much as I anticipated in the House today. This is the privatization of one particular airport in the state of Kerala. Kerala, sir, has an experience of 2 privatized airports. Now I submit to you that when the process of privatization of the 6 entities took place in 2018, there was a discussion. The Honorable Mr. Venugopal tried to quote from some minutes, but I'll give you the facts which I put down in a letter to the Honorable Chief Minister of Kerala. The situation is simple, straightforward. There was a discussion between the government of the state of Kerala and the Niti Aayog and the empowered group of secretaries. The government of Kerala requested that they would participate in the bidding exercise, provided they could obtain what is called an ROFR, right of first refusal. That is, if their bid came to within 10% of the ROFR, then the bidding would go in their favor. Sir, when the sealed bids were opened, the gap between the highest bidder and the state of Kerala was not 10%, it was 19.3%. Having said this, these are the facts on the table. Now, anything to be said thereafter. Now, that particular entity to whom something that entity is running a successful port or is constructing a successful port from within a proximate distance of where this airport is. Now, I don't wish to go into greater detail. Now, let me complete.
Please, Venugopal ji, कृपया बैठ करना बोले. Please, nothing will go on record. Please, Honorable Minister, you address the chair.
I would now come to issues, three issues which I think
there is a process of that. No, please.
Three issues which are
Please.
Central to this discussion.
You are not allowed to speak. Please.
Let me come back. Let me come back to some very important issues raised by the Honorable Shri Prasanna Acharya ji. He talked about what he described as a dismal safety record of Indian civil aviation. I would submit with due humility to the honorable member that he acquaint himself with what happened. The audit reports, which are the reason why we are bringing these amendments in, relate to the period 2012 and 2015. Some of the other issues, safety, come in subsequent reports. But the fact is, and this alone should lay all doubts to rest, is that the DGCA, the Directorate General of Civil Aviation, was awarded the ICAO President's Award in 2019 for achieving effective implementation of 72% over the earlier period, and was again, as my distinguished colleague Dungarpur ji mentioned, placed in category 1. Now, we were being compared, and I find this astonishing, we were being compared as having a worse safety record against some countries like in our neighborhood who are actually in category 2. But I don't know, it gives some members great satisfaction to run ourselves down, compare us with another country which is in category 2, whilst we are in category 1. Let me also add, the European Safety Agency has placed India in category 1 state. Similarly, there are other, like the US regulator, have similarly placed India in category 1 status. So let there be no doubt, this government will not compromise on issues of safety, after the Modi government has come in, after 2014, we have looked at safety, and I can give you some more statistics which should bear this out. I have a list here of scheduled aircraft accidents per million flights. And in 2014, when the Modi government came in, the world average of accidents per million flights was 3.06, when the Indian was 2.8. In 2019, the global figure is 3.02, the Indian is 0.82. This figure alone should lay to rest any doubt on this issue of air safety and accidents. The Honorable Chairman, sir, when he invited me to speak, asked me to reflect on the issue of international civil aviation. And he wanted me to discuss this with my colleague and friend, the External Affairs Minister. I want to assure this House that apart from domestic civil aviation, which I have said will resume to pre-COVID levels by the end of this calendar year, Lifeline Udan, which has carried 1,000 tons of essential medical supplies within the country and brought in 1,500 tons from outside, sent 30 tons outside. We have succeeded through the Vande Bharat mission, and if I may seek your indulgence, when Jaishankar ji first asked me that we needed to bring back stranded Indians from different parts of the world, I asked how many, what numbers there would be, what kind of aircraft mobilization in terms of platforms, how many will we need? And he mentioned a figure of 1.9 lakhs. And he mentioned this figure, sir, because those were the number of Indian citizens who had registered with Indian missions and posts in the Gulf and other countries. So I say with a great degree of satisfaction and humility that the total number of passengers, Indian citizens stranded abroad who have been brought back is close to 1.6 million, 16 lakhs, and about 300,000 to 400,000 have been carried out. This is the largest, most comprehensive process of evacuation and repatriation of Indian citizens or of citizens of any country at any time in history. And I think some of the suggestions which were being made here about Air India fares deserve to be contested, and I place the facts before you. Our pilots, our air crew, our ground people were in the front line. They brought back people from Wuhan, they brought back people from other COVID-infested places. And when they carried out these flights, I made it very clear right in the beginning that an air operation like this cannot be carried out through donations or the Gurdwara Langar Society. It has to be paid, and the amount we charged was the lowest ever. The highest amount of one-way ticket during the process was India to the United States and Canada, 1 lakh rupees, when competing airlines were charging 3 times the amount. From Dubai, Air India was charging 13,000 rupees when other carriers were charging 2.5 times.
We have to get this bill passed by 12. Please. Please.
Sir,
no
in which case I'll conclude with just give me a minute or two, sir, before I can.
But just 1 minute. Because
right,
I have
1
to
minute. And what is important, it is when you have pent up demand, when entire country and civil aviation is locked down,